there is no peace, there is no safety unless we help the people of Iran free themselves from this regime. The consequences are for tomorrow. So many people have asked me to comment on this deal between the United States and the regime in Iran. So I'm going to tell you what nobody else is going to tell you, what the politicians on the left and the right aren't going to tell you, what every president, from President Trump to President Biden to President Obama, what they all quietly realized. You're going to understand by the end of this video. Think of it like this. There are three elements that make a regime very dangerous, very hostile, and very radioactive. That is, one, they are extremists, ideological extremists. Two, they have state power. And three, they seek to expand their ideology across borders. Now, if you think about it, it's actually very rare that any regime has all of these three qualities. If you think about Hamas, yes, ideological extremists, yes, want to expand their vision across borders, but they don't have state power. North Korea, yes, ideological extremists, yes, they have state power, but they don't seem to be seeking to expand their influence across borders. There is a global understanding that this regime in Iran is the most hostile, most radioactive regime in the world. You know who else shared those qualities? The Nazis, the communists. And how did we remove those regimes? We didn't. Those regimes killed everybody for their vision, and then they died. When you are dealing with regimes that possess these qualities, there is an understanding that there is no ability to remove those regimes without catastrophe. Then the question becomes, who is willing to sign their name on that catastrophe? And the answer is nobody. Now, what we saw in this war was a willingness to experiment. Maybe there was a thought, maybe we don't make any more deals with this regime. Maybe we put pressure, military pressure, economic pressure to see if they fold. But this regime already showed us what it was willing to do on January 8th and 9th, when the now most conservative estimates tell us that they slaughtered at least 30,000 people, if not 40,000, if not 50, 60, 70,000. Why? Because these people are ideologues. Personal power can be disincentivized. But when you enter the territory of ideology, there is no amount of death, destruction, devastation considered too much for the survival of that vision. Hence, January 8th and 9th in Iran. Hence, October 7th. Hence, the war that could have ended on October 8th if Hamas simply returned the hostages. Hence, the Nazis. Hence, the communists. So what is this deal? This deal is a realization of and surrender to that fact. The fact that this regime doesn't go down without catastrophe. So what do we do now? We default. We return to the default position, which is what? Constraining their nuclear capabilities. Why? Not because we fear that they're going to use nukes against us, but to prevent them from becoming a deterrent state. What would that mean? That would mean that we can no longer use military force against them to curtail their behavior, to curtail their expansion, because they would have reached what is known as mutually assured destruction. That is what this deal and every deal is, and knows that it is. It is the retention of our military dominance, our ability to use military force against you in the future when you do what we know and you know and everybody knows you will inevitably do. That is the truth that nobody is telling you. So what is the solution? What is the answer? The answer is that there is no peace, there is no safety unless we help the people of Iran free themselves from this regime. The consequences are for tomorrow.